The football world continues to process the reported passing of former NFL star Aldon Smith at the age of 36, a development that has sparked widespread reflection across sports media, former teammates, and analysts. As conversations grow around his life, career, and the challenges he faced, one of the most discussed voices in the media space has been former NFL tight end and analyst Shannon Sharpe, who shared emotional reflections on Smith's journey and the complexity of his legacy. In his commentary, Sharpe focused not only on the player Aldon Smith became during his peak years, but also on the broader story of talent, pressure, and the difficult transition many athletes face after early success in the NFL. His discussion added another layer to the ongoing conversation about how Smith will be remembered, not just as a defensive powerhouse, but as a human being whose life carried both extraordinary highs and deeply challenging moments. According to multiple reports, Aldon Smith's passing occurred recently, though official authorities have not confirmed a final cause of death. Investigations and medical reviews remain ongoing, and early details shared publicly have been limited. What has been confirmed, however, is that the news of his passing quickly spread throughout the sports world, triggering tributes from fans, teammates, and analysts who once watched him dominate on the field. Shannon Sharpe, speaking during one of his media appearances, reflected on Smith's rise in the NFL and the immediate impact he made when he entered the league. Sharpe emphasized that Aldon Smith was not just another pass rusher. He was a rare talent who changed the way offenses had to prepare on a weekly basis. His speed off the edge, combined with his strength and instinct, made him one of the most feared defensive players of his era. During his early seasons with the San Francisco 49ers, Smith's performance reached historic levels. He quickly became a centerpiece of one of the league's strongest defenses, forming a dominant unit that helped the team reach championship contention. His breakout performances, including record-setting sack totals, positioned him as one of the brightest young stars in professional football at the time. Sharpe highlighted how rare it is for a defensive player to make such an immediate and overwhelming impact. In his reflection, he pointed out that Smith's early success placed him in conversations usually reserved for all-time greats, with many analysts believing he had the potential to redefine the pass-rushing position for a new generation. However, as Sharpe and other commentators noted, Smith's career also serves as a reminder of how quickly circumstances can change in professional sports. After his early rise, his journey became increasingly complicated, marked by time away from the game and repeated efforts to return to his former level of dominance. In discussing this aspect, Sharpe focused on the human side of the story. He emphasized that behind every headline and statistic is a person dealing with pressure that most fans never fully see. According to his reflections, the NFL environment can amplify both success and struggle, often placing young athletes in situations that are difficult to navigate without strong long-term support systems. As news of Smith's passing spread, reactions from across the league began pouring in. Former teammates, coaches, and sports analysts shared memories of his explosive playing style and the energy he brought to the field during his peak years. Many described him as one of the most naturally gifted defenders they had ever seen. Fans also took to social media to revisit highlights from his career, particularly his dominant 2012 season, when he recorded 19.5 sacks and set a franchise record for the San Francisco 49ers. Clips of his performances circulated widely, with many viewers expressing a mixture of admiration and sadness while reflecting on what could have been. Shannon Sharpe's commentary added depth to these conversations by focusing not only on the athletic achievements, but also on the emotional weight of seeing a career with such promise face so many interruptions. He spoke about how athletes like Smith often become symbols of both greatness and caution, representing the heights of physical ability, as well as the fragility of long-term stability in professional sports. Sharpe also pointed out that conversations around Aldon Smith should not be reduced to statistics or controversies alone. Instead, he encouraged viewers to look at the full arc of his life. A young athlete who rose to stardom, faced adversity, attempted comebacks, and remained a figure of fascination for fans who followed his journey closely. As discussions continue, one of the central themes emerging from tributes is unrealized potential. Many analysts and former players agree that Aldon Smith had the talent to be remembered among the greatest defensive players in NFL history if his career trajectory had remained uninterrupted. Yet alongside that perspective is another important narrative, one centered on resilience. Despite setbacks, Smith repeatedly found ways to return to the field, demonstrating determination and a continued love for the game. That persistence has also become part of how fans remember him today. Shannon Sharpe's reflections touched on this duality, noting that sports stories are rarely simple. They are shaped by performance, circumstance, personal growth, and the unpredictable nature of life after fame. In Smith's case, all of these elements intersected in a way that created a story both inspiring and deeply complex. As the football world continues to wait for official details regarding his passing, many are choosing to focus on legacy rather than uncertainty. Tributes have emphasized not only his achievements on the field, but also the emotional impact he had on teammates and fans who watched him at his best. In locker rooms, analysts' studios, and online communities, conversations about Aldon Smith continue to evolve. Some remember the fear he struck into opposing quarterbacks. Others remember the excitement he brought to every defensive snap. And many remember the questions that surrounded his career, which now feel even more poignant in light of recent events. For Shannon Sharpe and others in the media, the story serves as a reminder of how quickly life can change and how important it is to appreciate the moments of greatness while they are unfolding. His reflections underline a broader message that extends beyond football. Talent alone is never the full story, and every athlete carries a journey that fans may only partially see. As the NFL community reflects on Aldon Smith's life, his legacy continues to take shape. It is a legacy defined by explosive greatness, difficult challenges, and a lasting impression on one of the most competitive eras of modern football. And while questions remain about the details of his final chapter, what cannot be questioned is the mark he left on the game. Aldon Smith's name will remain part of NFL history, not only for what he achieved, but for the powerful and complicated story that continues to be remembered, analyzed, and discussed by those who watched his journey unfold. Rest in peace, Aldon Smith.